Okay, with all that being said, Micah, I want your final score and why.
All right. So here's an interesting fact that we haven't talked about yet, is that going back even to 1981 with Cleet Casper, 2002 with Jason Gesser, and then moving through the past decade with Connor Holiday, Luke Falk, Cody Clements, Jeff Toole, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, there's been a egregious history for Cougar quarterbacks getting hurt, either right before the Apple Cup or in the Apple Cup. We have not played the starting quarterback for the Cougars for the last 4 years, I think, because he's just always gotten hurt, including that Jason Gesser injury happened in the third quarter of the 2002 game where he literally got his leg bent 90 degrees backwards. So Luke Falk has been beat up all season. He's never actually not played in the game, but he's been beat up all season. The dogs are going to be barking, and I think something might happen. Don't call me crazy, but something might happen this week. I think that the Cougars got a great offense, definitely oriented around the pass, and the thing is, most teams that have been successful slightly, because the Huskies have blown out almost every team, has been against the pass. I think the run game won't happen because the Huskies' run defense is solid. My final score, I think Jake's just going to come in and do his thing because he's a robot. My final score is I think Huskies win 38-17.
Wow. Drew?
Very interesting. Drew, what do you got? Yeah.
38-17. I think it's going to be an absolute war of offenses. It's going to be a war of attrition. Whoever can't score the last points is going to lose. I expect it to be an extremely high-scoring game. I'm guessing probably 44-38 UW.
That's
44-38.
It's about where I'm thinking. Kellen, what do you think?
Maybe 45, just depends on kicking and weather. 44 is probably where I say I think he'll miss one.
Kellen, what do you think? Final score, why?
I think Washington has played a heck of a season up to this point. Ross, Pettis, and Gaskin have all been great weapons for possibly the Heisman candidate. I don't know. He might have lost that against USC.
Yeah, he's not going to win the Heisman.
In Browning, yeah. But it honestly seems as though WSU is going to pull this one off. I'm so sorry, guys.
What?
I know. I'm so sorry. I'm not trying to be Skip Bayless here and just agree with anybody, but I think Falk has been spinning the ball beautifully. I think he'll do that again in the Apple Cup. Both he and Browning will each throw for probably more than 300 yards and a few touchdowns. Wicks and Moore will play small roles, but will help move the chains for this WSU offense. But that can be the same said for Gaskin. But when it's all said and done, I believe Falk will hook up with Gabe Marks for a touchdown, and the Cougs will win this game 42-38.
You are high.
Woo.
Yeah.
Woo.
You are high.
I don't know if he is or not. I don't
think this game's going to come down to the wire. I think it's going to be a battle for most of the game, but I think there's going to be an outstanding winner because one of the teams is going to crumble. It's going to happen, and I think it's going to be the Cougs.
I just think whoever has the ball last.
That's where I'm at. Who's ever driving the ball down the field last is going to win.
I think that.
But if you shut down the run, the Cougars become a one-dimensional team, and the running backs got some talent, but, Rolls-Royce couldn't run against us.
But the Cougs have been basically a passing offense all year long. They're used to not really running the ball.
They know what they are.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Kellen on this one. I think they're well aware that they just throw the football. They're the best defense against the run, so they could force the Huskies into being a one-dimensional team.
That's scary. You don't want to force Jake Browning into being a one-dimensional passer.
Yeah, we saw that at the end of the USC game. All he had to do was pass, and he couldn't even stay on his own 2 feet.
True. We definitely couldn't. We went away from the run because we were trying to overcompensate for being down. No, I think it's going to be a great game. Hopefully, it's a historical game. I think I have a top 5 that I can remember that have been pretty amazing. So I think it'll be great.
Yeah,
I think USC had a lot better athletes though than WSU has. So
yes.
It's for me. I can't quite go off of how will Brandon. I think Browning will torch the WSU defense, but I just don't quite.
Kellen, other than Gabe Marks, who's a receiver for the Cougars?
Well, other than the guy that got hurt, that's a great point.
So now you got those guys going against 3 at least NFL prospects next year in the secondary.
Yeah,
I think.
But again, it's the Apple Cup. Guys are going to rise above, man. I'm telling you.
That's true.
I think this comes to my point that we made last week was that USC, you get a lot of linemen, you get a lot of D linemen who get a lot of guys in the front 8, front 7 who go to the league. In UW, it's always all the skill guys. With a few notable exceptions, Mike, I'm sure you know the names. Kellen brought them up last week. But
Danny Shelton.
Yeah, But in the last 4 or 5 years, it's been majority skill players, and I think that's what we're going to see here is that UW has better skill players than I think Wazoo does, at least than Wazoo does healthy at this point. And I think that for that reason, I think UW's O-line is not going to be so overwhelmed, and Jake Browning's not going to be under as much pressure as he was against USC. And I think because Wazoo doesn't have the line USC does, or the front seven. So I think watching Jake Browning play like that last week, you will not see again until they make the college football playoff. And if they make the college football playoff, then they're going to have to deal with an SEC or Big Ten O-line, D-line, and that's just going to be a problem.
Yeah. All I know is this game is honestly the game of the decade for Washington football, and I know I haven't been looking more forward to a game than when I was playing backyard football and I was in the Super Colossus Cereal Bowl when I was the Titans going against the Packers.
Yep.
I tell you what, this game has all the implications of being a shootout. I just hope I stay awake. I think I'm going to be doing some black shopping on Friday, so I hope I can stay awake. Mike and I fell asleep a couple years ago on the couch, but I just can't wait for this game. Micah, thank you so much for calling in, brother.